Hello and welcome to Django DRF Query Fundamentals course. My name is Xander. Now this tutorial is part of a whole course playlist available for free on YouTube. If you do like this course and you want to delve deeper, the full course is available for purchase at Udemy. Again, find all the resources and links in this video's description. Do remember to subscribe to the channel for weekly promotions, discounts, and of course Udemy course giveaways. So far in this course, we have learned how to use ViewSets to insert data into single tables with create and save. We've seen how to bulk insert with bulk create, and also how to update existing records with save. That's both existing whole records and partial updates. Whenever inserting data into individual tables, we need to remember that some tables have relationships with other tables, or they are dependent upon data being available or inserted in the other table, in the related table. So here, for example, we have a one-to-many relationship between category and product. In the product table, we have the foreign key, which is a reference to a primary key of a record in the category table. So we need to make sure before we insert into the products table that there is a corresponding record in the category table. And that's going to be the same of, for example, orders and users. So we can't add a new order unless there is a corresponding user, because again, we have a one-to-many relationship and the user ID will need to be specified when we create an order. If a user doesn't exist, then we can't create the order because there's no user ID, no record in the user's table for us to reference from the order record. So the fundamentals are here that, for example, when working with a table that has a foreign key, we're going to need to make sure that before we insert a product that a category exists. So here we have the product serializer. I've included all the fields except I think for some of the time date fields or date time fields. So here you can see we have the category field, which is the foreign key to the category table. Okay, so I've created a very simple view set for this. You can see that we've brought in the product serializer this time, and we're going to use the create function here to, first of all, serialize the data, and then if the serialization is valid, we'll just go ahead and save the product data. So we should have now a new endpoint, product insert. Okay, so my point here is that we need to remember that when inserting any products, that we have a category that already exists in the database. So I think I already do have a category. If you don't, go ahead and use this endpoint to create a category. So I think we have category 1 in our database. So let's just double check that. Make sure that you provide a unique name for this product. Everything else I think is good there. So let's go ahead and execute that. And we can see that we have now created a product in the product table, and that has a foreign key reference to category ID 1. So just remember that with the table that has a foreign key, if we were to, for example, supply it with a number, for example 0, which can't exist in the database, or if we don't supply this, then we will just return this error. So it says here the product with this name already exists. Okay. So we need to change the name and the slug. So let's do that again. So here we're told that it's an invalid primary key. So the object doesn't exist in the category database. So we cannot create the category until we supply a category number which correlates to a category that we have saved in the category table. So like I said, that's going to apply to also the users and orders table. If we try to create an order, we need to supply the ID of an existing user record. And very much the same here with stock and products. But that's going to be slightly different. Let's take a look in the next tutorial how to handle one-to-one inserts. And we'll go a little bit deeper in that tutorial. And we'll try and build a product, but at the same time also provide the information to then populate the stock management table as well. So in the next tutorial, we'll take a look at populating multiple tables from one client request.